and namaste. Welcome to our 30-day wellbeing challenge, and this is your 15-minute yoga for beginners flow. So just a nice and easy to follow yoga sequence that you can do from home with limited space and maybe just needing a mat or a towel on a nice soft floor. And we're going to start by coming into child's pose. So bringing the knees to the outer edges of your mat, and then just start to pad your hands forwards until you bring your chest down towards the mat. Try and create that space between the shoulders and just release the face, the head and neck down between the shoulders. And take a breath. You're just going to take a couple of breaths here to center yourself on your mat. Creating space for your practice. Maybe take this time to set an intention, wanting to feel a certain way or to ease any worries. And just bring that positive intention into your mind as you focus on your breath. We're going to walk the hands over to the left side of the mat here, bringing the right hand onto the left and just gently pulling into a side body stretch. So feeling a stretch down the right shoulder, through the torso, and take a breath. Inhale, walking the hands, just stepping them over to the other side of the mat, the left hand resting on top of the right, and exhale, pull it into that side body stretch. And then on your next breath in, just walking the hands through center. We're going to take the right arm underneath the left, threading it like a needle and coming down to rest on the right shoulder and the right side of the forehead. Just lightly resting down here, coming into that thread the needle stretch. Finding the length through the right side, through the shoulder, finding a nice stretch. And breathing here for 1. And then inhale, just unthreading that right side, bringing it out in front of you. We're then going to take the left arm through, coming down to rest onto the left shoulder and the left side of the forehead. Find that same thread the needle stretch, but on this side. And then inhale, bringing both hands just ahead of you. I'm going to roll up to a tabletop position. So just bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, and you're going to spread wide into the palms of the hands. Start with your knees just directly underneath your hips here. You can lightly tuck the tailbone under, just maintain a nice neutral spine. And start with these little circles, starting to warm up into the wrists. Gently putting more and more weight into the palms of the hands and pressing into each fingertip as you go. Try and stay aligned with your breath. And then switch direction. Maybe going past that 90-degree point of flexion through the wrists and still pressing into each fingertip as you go. So this is just time spent on warming up the wrists ahead of postures like plank and downward facing dog. We spend a lot of time with our weight put through our wrists and through our shoulders, and just taking this time to warm them up properly really protects them and helps prevent any kind of strain or injury by just jumping straight into postures. Okay, come back to your neutral position. starting to warm up into the spine. As you inhale, we're going to drop the belly button down towards the mat, dropping through the hips and lifting through the chest. Take a nice deep breath here. As you exhale, start to round through the spine, tucking the tailbone under and tucking the chin to chest. Pressing upwards through the spine, through the shoulders, like an angry cat. And then repeat that move. So inhale, belly button drops down. And exhale, arching the spine up towards the ceiling. Find that length through the spine and through the neck. Inhale. And exhale. Just trying the best you can to stay with your breath. Don't worry if you come away from it slightly. You can always go back. Okay, tying those two movements together now. As you inhale, dropping the belly button down, we're going to shift our weight into our left shoulder and then over into the right shoulder. As you exhale and round through to your cat pose, sink into the right hip and the left hip. So you're creating this 4-point movement, almost circular, through the body, but still aligning it with your cat-cow poses. So getting that movement through the spine, the wrists, the shoulders, and just moving in any way that feels good for you. When you're ready, take your knees a little bit wider and sit back once again into your child's pose, reaching into the arms just out ahead of you and resting the forehead down. Take this time to come back to the breath. We've moved through our warm-up now, so hopefully feeling some warmth through the hips, the wrists, the shoulders, the spine. And we're going to start to build a little bit of intensity as we flow through our sequence this morning, or this afternoon, whenever you're practicing. But just know that you can always come back to your child's pose. Resting down into this posture to take a moment to rest the wrists, whatever you need. Okay, when you're ready, rolling up through the spine. We're going to tuck our toes under and start to lift up into our downward facing dog. So to begin here, just keep a gentle bend in the knee so that when you lift, you can find the length through the spine, pressing through the shoulders, all the while not putting too much demand into the back of the legs. So that gentle bend just allows you that space. Be sure to spread into the hands, grip the mat, and look through to your toes. If you feel a bit of openness here, you can start to tread the legs out left to right, finding a bit of movement. All the while staying with your breath. Okay, from our downward facing dog, we're going to look towards our hands and just start to walk the feet towards the hands. If you need to bend into the knees, that's okay. And just take your time, find your own way up to the mat. So stepping your feet to the top of your mat, we're going to start to roll up through the spine. So one vertebrae at a time, just sweeping the hands overhead as you come to your standing position. Grounding down into the feet here, dropping the shoulders from the ears. And then inhale, find that length through the spine. As you exhale, start to forward fold, bring the hands throughout center and down to the mat. Take a breath. Inhale as we halfway lift, so hands just coming up to the shins. Find a nice straight spine here. And exhale, planting the hands down, take a step back, coming into your plank position. You can bring the knees down. I'm going to show you your tricep press, your chaturanga, from your knees. So untucking the toes, draw the belly button up towards the spine, and then you're going to bend the elbows, bringing them in towards the rib cage. Slowly lower down to the mat. Inhale here, taking a breath as you start to roll up into your back bend. So gentle cobra or upward facing dog. If that feels too much, you can take your hands a little further out and have a gentle bend in the elbows. Exhale, coming back down to the mat. Inhale, nice strong push up, pressing back into your downward facing dog. So lifting through the hips and looking towards your toes, coming back to your downward dog position. Breathing here for 3 breaths. Here from our downward facing dog, we're going to lift into the left leg. So coming into a 3-legged dog. Stepping the left foot forwards, in between the hands. Don't worry if you just need to give it a bit of help, maybe a couple of steps. And then come down into your low lunge, so right knee drops to the mat and hook the toes. Okay, inhale as we sweep the arms overhead, coming into your low lunge here. So finding a stretch through your hip flexors. And reaching up into the arms. If at any point you just want a bit more stability here, you can keep your hands up onto your thigh and maybe not go quite as far into the position. Just listen to your body here. Okay, bringing the right hand to place just inside the left foot. You're going to come into what's called an easy twist. So bringing the chest in towards the left thigh. Start to open up through the chest, finding a twist here through your torso, and maybe the left hand starts to reach up to the ceiling. If that's too much, you can just bring the left hand down and find a gentle stretch. When you're ready, left hand is going to frame the left foot, bringing it back through to tabletop or through to plank, and then hinge up into your downward facing dog. And breathe here for 3 breaths. Being sure to still keep the hands spread nice and wide, protecting the wrists. And you can always bring the knees down and sit back into your child's pose if you want to. If you're in your child's pose, just starting to make your way back to your downward facing dog. And we're going to get ready to flow on the right side. So as you inhale, stepping into the left leg and lifting into the right. Coming into that 3-legged down dog before we bring that right foot, stepping it forwards, in between the hands, and just dropping the left knee down, untuck the toes. Inhale as we sweep the hands overhead, coming into your low lunge position here, finding that stretch through the hips, just dropping those shoulders away from the ears. Taking a breath. And then inhale, left hand is going to come down just inside the right foot. Once again, finding your easy twist through your torso, maybe taking the right arm up towards the ceiling. And inhale, framing the front foot, stepping it back through to your tabletop or your plank, and hinging up to downward facing dog. And breathing here for 3. From your downward dog, you can always drop those knees, sit back into child's pose, and use this as a rest for 3 breaths. On your next inhale, starting to roll up through the spine, and then either stepping both feet between the hands, or you can walk them 1 inch at a time, just until we come into our forward fold position. So inhale, halfway lift, finding that length through the spine, and then exhale, forward fold. Once again, just keep a gentle bend in the knees here. Find that stretch and that length through the lower and mid back, allowing the arms to just rest down. going to flow through that same sequence again, resting whenever you need to. So inhale, rolling up through the spine, sweeping the arms overhead, find that stretch. Lengthen here through the body. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back through to plank. You can take the knees down for your chaturanga, or from your toes, taking a tricep press, slowly lower. And then inhale, coming up through your back bend, so cobra or upward facing dog. As you exhale, slowly lower that down to the mat, pushing up and back to downward facing dog. Taking 3 breaths here. And then lifting into that left leg. Come into your 3-legged dog. Taking that time to step the left foot forward, so inhale, stepping it between the hands, just bringing the right knee down. Inhale as you come up through to your low lunge. And exhale, right hand places down on the mat, finding that twist through the torso here. Left hand reaching up towards the ceiling, easy twist. Inhale, frame the front foot, step it back through to your tabletop or plank, and hinging back up through to downward facing dog. Resting here in down dog or in child's pose. And then flowing through on the right side, so lifting up through your downward facing dog. You're going to step into the left foot and lifting up into the right. Find that length here in your 3-legged dog before stepping the right foot forwards and resting the left knee down. Inhale as we sweep our arms overhead, coming into our low lunge. And exhale, left hand planting down, and start to move into your easy twist, right hand reaching up towards the ceiling. Inhale, bring the right hand down, frame the front foot. You're going to step that right foot back to plank, drop the knees down, and sit back into your child's pose. And just closing our practice where we began. Here in child's pose, finding a nice gentle stretch through the shoulders, resting the forehead down, and coming back to the breath. And just take 5 nice deep breaths here to end your yoga practice today. Maybe focusing back onto that intention that you set at the beginning, or simply just focusing on your breath.